Welcome to another episode of Tech and Culture. I remain my humble self, Said Aiwoka, a brand and corporate communication specialist. Today, I want to discuss with you a topic, and of course, this topic also comes as a question. At what cost? The true price of that decision you're about to make. Simon Sinek is known as one of the specialists in management specialist who trains people across the world. He is the one who has deciphered this particular question to ask yourself anytime you are going to make a decision or you are going to take an action. Ask yourself, at what cost? Is it at the cost of my health? Is it at the cost of my life? Is it at the cost of the upbringing of my children? Is it at the cost of my parents? Is it at the cost of my friends? Is it at what cost is that particular decision? What is that thing that decision is going to take away from you? And when we ask ourselves this question, it helps us to value and take the best of decisions most times. Now that I mentioned value, Immanuel Kant is a philosopher that is renowned for many of his theories, categorical syllogism, categorical imperative, many things. But the one I'm going there today to discuss with us is his definition and also his division of value. Value simply means worthiness, the worthiness of a particular thing. And according to Immanuel Kant, he divided value into two. We have the intrinsic value and we also have the instrumental value. Intrinsic value is something that has a worthiness, a usefulness in and out of itself, while an instrumental value is something that is a means to an end. In and out of themselves, they are not useful. Except you use them as a means to an end, that is when their value, their worthiness or their usefulness comes to life. For example, so that you understand what I'm trying to talk about, water has an intrinsic value. When you are thirsty, if I'm locked in a room like this studio I am now, if I'm locked with water in this room, whenever I feel thirsty, I take that water, and once I drink the water, it quenches my thirst. That is the usefulness of water. However, if I'm locked with money inside this particular room, and I'm unable to go outside and interact with things in the outside world, that particular money can't be of any use to me, because the value of money is for it to be an enabler to do other things. So basically, the question you ask yourself, let me also give another analogy so that we also understand. If you have an interview in Lagos for a very good job, and your interviewer, your prospective employer, has paid for your ticket for you to fly from Abuja to Lagos, will you prepare more for your interview, or are you going to prepare more for your trip? Your interview has an intrinsic value, because once you do well in that interview, there's a likelihood you are going to get that job. However, the trip from Abuja to Lagos has an instrumental value. You are only traveling because you need to travel to attend that interview. So in your preparation, you need to prepare more for your interview than you prepare for your trip. And this same thing also goes for, everybody needs a job. Your job has an instrumental value. In that particular job, you are doing that job mostly, in most cases, so that you can earn salary, and at the end of the day, your remuneration is able to take care of your family. But at what cost is that job taken also from you? What is that job taking away from you? Is that job replacing giving your children new parents? Maybe it's now your house girl, your kid, the caregivers in the house that are now nurturing your children. You can be a professor, a PhD holder, an engineer, a lawyer, any kind of profession you go into. You can be at the top of your career, but your children are being nurtured by somebody you would not even consider for employment in your own corporate business. So you leave the care of your children in the hands of people that are unlearned, that have almost also no skill. So at what cost is that job taken away from you? At what cost is whatever? Just ask yourself that question. At what cost? Some things take away our good health. So at what cost? That you get home from job, or you will travel, you come back, you only eat very late in the night, and the food refuses to digest, and it helps you to accumulate a lot of fat that also impairs your physical fitness and your health generally. So before you make any decision, consider these two things. Ask yourself this question: at what cost is this decision going to take from me? What is this particular decision how is it going to impact me negatively or impact the people around me negatively? Or the second one, is this particular action I'm about to take, does it have an instrumental value or it has an intrinsic value? Once it has an intrinsic value, then you place premium on it. And once it has an instrumental value, you still do it fervently with full commitment, but you put at the back of your mind, this is only a means to an end and not an end in itself. Thank you very much. Till I see you in the next episode.